And we're doing a walk through Tahmoor, and it's courtesy of the Frank Baker Collection, Picton Historical Society, Marlane Fairfax, which is me, and the narration is shared by Frank and myself, and it's from the research of both Frank and myself.
This shop was opposite Ray Cadwell's or Grant's or Tickle's, whatever one would call it, opposite on the other side of the road.
Yeah. So it's on the corner of Larkin and Larkin Street, yep.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. And that's Mr. and Mrs. Draper, I take it, out the front there.
Yeah, that's Bruce and Norma.
Mm.
But they had the land beside them to the left. As Eve, you can see that photo was where Mr. Draper used to grow potatoes and that.
All right, then after Draper's, it actually, and that was their residence at the back, I take it.
Yes.
Malcolm Smith took it over. Malcolm's a butcher, but Malcolm's also the nephew of the Drapers, of Mrs. Draper.
Correct.
Yeah. So he added a little bit on the front there for his butcher shop, and I think for a time the Drapers still lived there.
Yes, they did, and they ran taxis, 2 taxis out of there.
Mm.
The taxi used to be in that, and behind that brick fence on the right, well, both photos.
Over
the
here.
Taxis, yeah, were sort of used to be in there.
Yeah. And just briefly, this was called like an arcade. It was Astley's actually built it, and you can see the signs there: TV antennas, electrical, etc. Over here, you had it was a bottle shop at the end, I think. There was also a doctor's and a hairdresser's in there, and then up in this area, which you can't really see, but there was a few businesses.
Yeah, well, it started off, Marlane, with Max and Maria Gluck, or Gluck, Germans who come from Douglas Park, and then moved up to Tahmoor around about 63 or something, and he built that shop. And beside that shop was another little shop where Max brought the first doctor to Tahmoor. Well, no, in my time, because there was a doctor right back in Dr. Hetherington later on, but that's another story.
Yeah. So this shop here, Frank,
finished up the gas shop.
Right.
But that shop was used as a fruit market over the time after the milk bar when Gluck sold it. It's been a few things, yes.
Okay, and then just moving across the street, we had Catt's shop. It was actually built in 1918, so it had a long history, and it was demolished, I think, about 1980. And it was on the corner of Emmett Street. Then this one,
correct,
and it was also operated by Mr. and Mrs. Victor Gorick, and they apparently added the residence. So again, like the other milk bars we've seen or shops we've seen, there's a residence added. You can see the roof of it there, and also the back of it there. So the shop's at the front, and there's the back. So the Goricks they added that, and they lived there.
Yes.
And then who came next? Well, actually, there's a few people. Middleton Brothers, they actually operated from there as well.
And B.J. Ellsworthy, Barry Ellsworthy.
Yeah, and he'd worked for Middleton's at Thirlmere, so I guess maybe he took over from Middleton's when they decided to get out.
Yes.
And then next door to that, Frank Hibble built a petrol station. Correct.
It was only a little place. That shop that you see there was an extension of, there is another photo of the original, which is in the collection. But it's just amazing how the things are transformed.
Yeah, it's hard to, you sort of call it a petrol station, but compared to what are petrol stations today, they're just tiny little structures with a Bowser at the front, aren't they?
Yeah, especially when you see the new one down there at Macca's.
And here, this photo, you can see the old shop here in the background. So it's still operating as a milk bar. Then you've got the ice cream side at the top.
Yeah.
And on this one, it's a great view looking down. So you're looking down towards Rockford Road, where Rockford Road goes up here.
Yes, yes.
And the Bowsers, again, they're a little bit more off the road than what Mr. Dennings was.
Yeah. We mustn't forget, Marlane, about who the real estate agent was that worked out of Hibble's shop, who you knew.
Which one was that?
Martin.
Oh, the solicitor, sorry.
Yeah.
R.A. Martin, yes, sorry, yeah. R.A. Martin came to visit there, used to visit Picton and Tahmoor of a Saturday or Friday afternoon. And that's what started off Caldwell, Martin and Cox. RAO joined or got Pat Caldwell to join with him, and that was the rest is history, as they say, over 70 years ago.
Yeah, well, he was the one that was the in between buying the farm, our farm up at Rockford Road. It was all done through Mr. Martin.
Okay.
I remember him well.
But Frank, in this photo, we're talking about the tree here, which still stands, and this little house, which was Shaw's house. Is that correct?
No, not that one. No, in my time, in the 50s, that was the Boyd's house, which became the Third's house.
Third's house.
Yeah.
Right.
And you see the next photo.
Okay, so the tree though is still stands today. So when you can see that, it's probably one of the few landmarks that we remember from the history of Tahmoor. When you think about it, you know, Tahmoor House, Hindmungy, Stratford House, and this tree. Oh, and Denfields, of course. Forgot Denfields.
Yes.
And it's said to have been planted in 1917 by Sam Emmett's daughter. But anyway, we're getting off the track here. So that same spot, that photo that we were looking at, that was Hibble's garage, then transformed into this, into Traynor's garage.
Ron Traynor bought it, and after I don't know how that worked out, but his brother took over, Jim Traynor, ran it for many years. Many years.
Yeah, he was the last proprietor there, I think, wasn't he? Or
pretty
close to it.
Correct.
And then, of course, you got Bilo. That complex was opened, I think, in 1988, I believe.
Right.
The Bilo. So
yeah.
One more garage to go. We've got Wright's garage, which is on the corner of Remembrance Drive and Bronzewing Street. And
opposite the school.
Opposite the school.
Yes.
And so Arthur Wright, I'm not sure where he came from, but he was there in the early 1950s.
Yes.
He lived in Rockford Road too, I think he said.
Yeah, I did. I don't think I knew that myself, but yes, that did come up somewhere.
But in the early hours of the 18th of May 1960, a semi-trailer ran into the garage, resulting in this, set fire to it. And I guess they were lucky that it was the early hours of the morning. I mean, if it was a school day and the kids were in, I know it didn't affect the school, but still, it would have been a hell of a thing for the kids to have to witness. Yes.
And the little house behind the garage that you can see there is the Wright's home.
Right. When we put this on the Facebook page and people responded to it, this Nancy Jordan, I mean, it's just chilling what she says. I remember going outside and watching the flames and hearing the explosions and Mrs. Wright screaming. I mean, geez, that would stick in your memory, wouldn't it?
Yes, yeah. Yeah, Nancy, who was a Jordan's, got a very, very good memory.
Mm. And then, and she also spoke about Graham and Brian Richardson, because they lived just down in
York Street. Yes.
York Street. Yeah. Anyway, he rebuilt it, and this is what it looked like when it rebuilt, and we reckon that's correct because the model of the car here is after 1961, so this is the new one. And it's also Tahmoor Battery Service, because this is he kicked off with Tahmoor Battery Service, and then he sold that business to Morrie Quirk.
Correct.
So it ended up the other end of town.
Yes.
At the gold, and here's a souvenir that someone's got. Amber Fletcher very kindly put it up on our Facebook page. May ye Merre Be, which is a bottle opener, and it has Arthur Wright Tahmoor Battery Service phone 239 engraved on the back of it. So that's a nice bit of memorabilia.
Yeah, I'd never seen that before.
No, it's very good to find these sorts of things.
Yes.
And this would be Stanley.
Yes. The man for Golden Fleece.
And there's the Tahmoor school children come over to get his autograph by the look of it.
That's when it became a restaurant.
Right. Do you think that would have been the opening of the restaurant then, perhaps?
I'm not sure on that one. I'm not sure. But there's a lot, I see a lot of local children that I know in there, the boy third and, yeah, many others.
Yeah, great to see. So
and dear old Mrs. Hodgson on the right-hand side, she was the kindergarten teacher. That's her on the
lady,
right.
yep.
No, the one on the right where you were.
Oh,
talking to Stanley.
Oh, this one. She's got her back to us. Right.
Yeah, she was a lovely, lovely lady. Lived in Rockford Road.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, there's the restaurant and the BP garage, the Golden Fleece garage. Many locals, people worked there. The Toms ran at one stage. They were in it for a while. And yeah, so it employed people like Dorothy Angel, who was Dorothy Burton from the Burton family of Tahmoor.
Right.
And quite a lot of other people helped out in there. And who you see there is Robin Third with the three of the children who lived in that little house back north of that building.